My beloved Lord, when I sit down in the stillness at the beginning of the day, it is only then that I truly hear the soft beating of my own heart, a rhythm I have long thought came from my own strength, from discipline, from the perseverance I was so proud of. But no, the longer I sit, the more I realize there is a very gentle, very small, yet utterly real light quietly spreading within me. It does not come from what I have achieved, but from the tender presence you place into each breath. That light does not blaze, does not attract attention, does not turn me into the strong version of myself that the world demands. It simply lets me know one thing: you are here. And as that presence lays a little peace over my heart, I begin to see my own weakness more clearly. I see every crack in my soul, every dark corner of fear, every empty space I keep trying to hide. I realize I am not as strong as I thought. I tire easily, grow sad easily, lose courage easily. I keep trying to hold everything up on my own. But in the end, I always come back to one truth. I need you. I need your guidance, your breath of peace, the light that I cannot create by myself. In moments like these, you remind me of the story of Elijah in the cave, when he fled in fear, when he was completely exhausted in both body and soul. He hid himself in the darkest place, believing his life had already come to an end. I understand that, because sometimes I also crawl into my own cave, a place I think is safe, but is actually just where I curl up in my weariness. Yet, you did not come to Elijah in a roaring storm. You did not use an earthquake to shake him awake. You did not send fire to shock him into awareness. You came in a gentle whisper, so quiet that only a heart truly stilled could hear it. And Elijah recognized you, not because of power displayed, but because of tenderness. Lord, your strength is so different from the strength I keep chasing. I want to be strong enough to get through everything, while you want me soft enough for you to carry. I want to be strong so that others, looking at me, will think I am fine, while you want me honest enough to realize my Father is near. I want to be strong so I can walk by myself, while you want me to see that every light begins with you, not with me. Looking back over life, I remember a story I once witnessed very clearly. There was a middle-aged man in our neighborhood, someone who always looked so strong on the outside, always busy, capable, taking care of his family in every way. Then a crisis struck. He lost his job, and his family fell into hardship. A man who had once seemed so steady suddenly became quiet, withdrawn, less talkative. One day, I saw him sitting on the curb at noon. The sunlight fell across his tired face, yet in his eyes there was something brighter than before. I asked him how he was, and he answered softly, "I used to think I lived by my own hands, by sheer willpower. Now I know I live because of the light God places in my heart every morning. It's not a lot, but it's enough to keep me from collapsing." When I heard that, I could not hold back my tears, because in that calm voice I felt a light that no fear could extinguish. Yes, Lord, the light you place within me is the same, not noisy, not pushing, not demanding, not forcing me to excel. It is simply a small light, just enough for me to keep living, keep loving, keep walking, keep believing. When I am too tired to pray for long, you still give me a little peace. When I do not know where to begin, you give me a ray of light just bright enough to see one step ahead. When I feel lonely, you give me a warmth that softens the chill in my heart. When I want to give up, you whisper so gently, "I am here, Lord." This is a strength that does not come from my hands, but from your quiet guidance. It is the kind of strength that helps me stand up again, not because my circumstances have changed, but because my heart has been touched by you, and I hold this verse as a little miracle you have given me. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 2:7. Lord, I lift my heart to you. Please pour into my soul that light which no fear can steal away. Help me to trust in your gentle leading, even when my eyes see only darkness. Teach me that this inner light is not the result of my effort, but a gift of grace. With all my gratitude I say to you, Lord, please guard the gentle light you have placed within me, that I may carry it throughout this whole day into the words I speak, the situations I face, and the places my feet will go. Let me, through each small moment, know that it is you who are guiding me with a peace that does not belong to this world. Lord, when I look back over the small moments of the day, I realize that the inner light you place within me does not only appear in peaceful hours of prayer, but is scattered along every path of my life, in noisy places, in busy hours, in countless situations where I so easily forget the tenderness of your breath. Sometimes that light comes so quietly that I walk right past it without noticing. But when I pause to think, to listen, to examine my own heart, I know that this is how you quietly walk into each of my days. In the morning, when I stand before the mirror and see in my eyes the traces of a night filled with restless thoughts, my heart feels heavy. I wonder if I will have enough strength, enough peace, enough patience to get through whatever awaits me. Yet with just one deep breath, I begin to calm down. And in that silence, I seem to hear a clear voice from within, whispering, "Your Father is going with you." That one unspoken sentence is enough to steady my heart again, not to make me feel invincible, but enough for me to take the next step, enough for me to know that I do not have to carry the whole day on my own shoulders. In my daily work, there are times when I become so tense that I feel like I am going to break. Demands, expectations, and stacked up responsibilities stretch my mind like a string that has lost all elasticity. There have been moments when I wanted to get angry, to walk away, or to shut down and ignore everything happening around me. Yet right at the point when I am the most overwhelmed, when my eyes happen to rest on a small empty space on my desk, a verse suddenly rises in my heart. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you. Psalm 3:2-8. That verse is like a lamp switched on in the night, not lighting up the whole road ahead, but bright enough to show one small step in front of me. And that alone is enough for me to become calm again, to choose patience instead of irritation, gentleness instead of a quick reaction, to keep going in a quiet way without burning out. Lord, I know these small lights come from you. Sometimes you touch me through a good and wholesome thought, sometimes through a tender reminder, sometimes through an unexpected moment of stillness in the middle of chaos. Sometimes you come through a kind glance, a comforting word, a tiny detail that, if I were not attentive, I would dismiss as mere coincidence. But in truth, these are the moments of life that you have made holy, turning them into places where I am strengthened in ways no one else sees. There was a time I stood at a bus stop on a dusty afternoon, my mind weighed down by worries about finances, work, and relationships in need of healing. It felt as though a heavy stone was pressing on my chest. But just then, a breeze passed by, cool, soft, and gentle enough to make me pause for a few seconds. In the middle of the traffic noise, I seemed to hear you say quietly, "You've been striving on your own for far too long." That moment almost made me burst into tears right there on the street. No one knew. No one noticed. but I knew you were softening a heart that had grown hard from stress. You did not rebuke me. You did not force me. You simply placed in me a lightness just enough for me to breathe normally again. Then I remember the story in Scripture when Jesus came to Mary and Martha after Lazarus had died. The house was thick with grief and sorrow. Yet before Jesus performed the miracle of raising Lazarus, he did something else miraculous. He wept with them. He stood in their pain, shared what they were carrying, understood what they could not put into words. When he said, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" John 1:140. His words did not sound like a command, but like a hand reaching out to uphold them. I realize that the light you give does not only come through wonders, but also through deep compassion that soothes the human soul. And I think again of a story from real life that I can never forget. A friend of mine, after a major family crisis, became withdrawn and struggled with her pain for many months. One day she was sitting alone in a cafe, looking out at the pouring rain. She told me she felt as if every door in life had closed on her. But at that very moment, a little girl at the table next to her turned and smiled a smile without reason, without condition, pure and innocent. In that instant, my friend burst into tears. She told me, "I knew then that God had not forgotten me. He used a small smile to pull me back from sinking." When I heard that, my heart was deeply moved, because I understood that sometimes you use very small things to touch very wounded hearts. Oh Lord, the light you sow into our hearts is often so small that it is easy to overlook, yet it is what lifts us up every time we are close to exhaustion. That light shows up in every layer of life, in family, in work, in our health, in fragile relationships, in dreams not yet fulfilled, in sorrows not yet healed. You do not ask me to be strong from the outside. You teach me to be strong from within through your guidance, your patience, and a deep trust that there is always a Father walking with me through everything. So once more I lean on your word. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. My eye will be on you. Psalm 3:2-8. When I read this, my heart feels refreshed. I know the light you have placed within me is not meant to make me extraordinary, but to make me truly belong to you wholly, humbly. And honestly, that light is not just a fleeting emotion. It is a warmth I can carry with me hour by hour. I come to you in a prayer of surrender, Lord. Please shine into every hidden corner I will have to pass through today. Let me recognize the quiet light you have placed in each situation when I am under pressure, when I am misunderstood, when I am weary, when I feel abandoned. May everything I do, everywhere I go, every breath I take, become living proof that you are leading me with a gentleness strong enough to uphold me through the entire day. The days I live through, whether peaceful or chaotic, filled with joy or tinged with weariness, always share one thing in common. I cannot walk through them on my own. I need light from the Father, not a blinding light that overwhelms me, but a small, quiet, patient light like an oil lamp whose flame is not large, yet bright enough for me to see each step I take. I need that light to keep my heart from growing hard, to keep my thoughts from becoming confused, to keep my faith from being shaken by the things my eyes see and my ears hear. In truth, when I look deeply into my own heart, I realize I am more fragile than I ever thought. I am easily wounded by careless words, easily discouraged by sudden events, easily lost when I must choose between right and wrong, between holding on and letting go, between loving and stepping back. Yet it is precisely in that weakness that I discover the beauty of grace. The very moments when I am at my weakest, are the moments when your light shines the clearest, not because I have found you, but because you have found me, not because I am able to hold on to you, but because you have already taken hold of me first on this journey. I remember a story from the Bible that I have always regarded as one of the most beautiful pictures of the Lord's guidance, Jesus leading his disciples across the sea in the dark of night. The waves were high. The wind was strong. The boat was tossed about, and the disciples were terrified. But then, just when they thought they were about to sink, the Lord came walking right on the sea, taking gentle, unhurried steps, as if the storm had no power to disturb him at all. And when he said to them, "Don't be afraid, it is I." Matthew 1:4-7. The sea did not grow calm at once. The wind did not stop at once, but their hearts were calmed first, because what they needed was not a quiet sea, but the presence of the Lord. Lord, this is exactly what moves me whenever I think about it, because in my life too there are stormy seas. There are days when so many things come rushing at me that I feel like nothing more than a small boat among massive waves. There are moments when I am surrounded by worries, responsibilities, losses, and fears about the future. Yet in those very hours, I believe you are also speaking that same sentence to me in a very gentle and very real way. Don't be afraid. Your Father is here. And with that word alone, the sea within my heart already grows calmer, at least in part. Lord, the inner light you have placed in my heart is truly not something vague or imaginary. It is present in the way I am being changed each day. I find myself calmer in situations that once made me anxious. I sense my heart leaning more toward compassion rather than hurried judgment. I notice that I am learning to slow down and listen instead of rushing to respond. I see that as your light grows within me. The things that used to make me tremble no longer have the same power over me as before, not because they have vanished, but because I no longer face them alone. Lord, the pace of life sometimes makes me forget the value of small things. I look for big changes, dramatic breakthroughs, great deliverance. But you choose instead to place a small light within me like someone lighting a simple oil lamp in the night. That light does not dazzle me, but it allows me to see just enough so I will not step into a deep pit. That light does not turn me into someone else, but it enables me to become truly myself with the honesty, gentleness, and humility that you desire. And I hold on to this verse as I would hold on to a promise that never goes out. In him was life, and that life was the light of humankind. John 1:4. Those words are like a stream that nourishes my heart, helping me understand that the inner light I have does not come from experience, does not come from knowledge, does not come from success or control, but comes from your very life flowing within me. Now, as I bring this long prayer to a close, my heart is filled with a gratitude that is hard to express. Lord, I want to offer you these final words, as if I were stepping into the Father's presence with a soul already warmed. Lord, please guard the inner light that you have quietly placed within me since the dawn of my days. Let that light go with me into every decision, every conversation, every trial, and even into those moments when I feel I have nothing left. Let that light keep on growing, driving away all fear and keeping me living in the peace of the Father. Please make my heart a place you can illumine every day so that even when my circumstances change, the light of yours within me will remain steady and unquenched. And Lord, please let me, even after finishing this prayer, still carry your presence with me throughout the entire day in the way I look at others, in the way I face hardships, in every moment I live. Let me walk in a light that is truly gentle, truly deep, truly near a light that comes from you alone, the one who is always beside me, guiding me, and loving me with an unchanging love. I wish you a peaceful morning in his loving arms. And please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our morning prayers.